guys, welcome back to Legend of the Willow. It's been a while for this one, but it's been in my mind a lot. And so I'm like, I just want to finish it because I figure we're like, what, season 3, episode like 7 or something like that. So we should have probably like one season and a couple episodes left. So I figure let's just finish it up. I think that'll make me feel better. Yeah, because it really has been on my mind, and yeah, I'm excited to get back into it. So let's go ahead and finish the story out. Chapter 7, Back Door. I don't even remember everything that was going on. Yes, that was a young nobleman, a fox's clever disguise, early eve in spring. The wide path stretching in a long arc from the guest garden toward the outer walls provided a perfect setting for castle dwellers to take secluded strolls. In the company of her personal servant, a lady wouldn't arouse anyone's suspicions. A young woman simply wished for some peace and quiet on a spring day. A beautiful walkway hugged a stream overgrown with lilies, eventually skirting the guest stables. One might linger there in the hope of petting the thoroughbred animals, or simply relax further in the shade by the water. And one might also discuss the task at hand. From their time at the palace, the Ronin and Ninja concluded that while many visited the palace, it was not crowded. The men were waiting at the gate. Oh, I forgot how they say that. May, Shinodori. Kazu nodded silently. Arai called the yokai back by her true name, indicating that no outsiders were near. The kitsune wasted no time. Oh, she's so cute! I remember. Do you know where Winsei is going? No. Oh my gosh! Oh, it's been so long. We want to go after him. Just the two of you? Yes. Is there some way I can help? The shinobi, as usual, recognized her intention at once. You want to come with us? Seems that, to me, that it will be easy with 3 of us. I might be useful. It was, passion and coldness, no? Easier with the 3 of us. Coldness is kind of like, thinking stuff through, kind of like calm, and passion is more just like going with the feeling. So I'm gonna think I might be useful, might be passion. It seems to me, kind of seems like she's like contemplating it and thinking it out, and then the other one she's like, I just kind of want to. I think I could be useful. No particular reason why. I just I don't have any good reasoning, but I just want to go. With magic, for example. Masamune admitted. Perhaps. How will you leave the palace gates for the night? Besides, it's dangerous. Very. Both of them looked at May. She was in no hurry to abandon her intention. Should we come across an Oni, it would not be my first. It will be more than enough to handle it. I'm coming with you. If, of course, I will really be of use. You sure? Determined one? Oh my gosh. I remember all the little nicknames he gives her. That, oh, so cute. Yes. Kazu rubbed his cheek, then addressed the Ronin. There's a back door. I'm guessing for quick and easy access to and from the palace. Shino Adori will have to stay here. The yokai furrowed her eyebrows. Hi. What if something happens to May? She took a step toward the men as if to shield the kitsune from them. She's so cute. May chose to intervene, likely preempting an argument. Shinohadori, everything will be okay. We aren't going off to battle. May was not entirely sure of her own words, but the yokai relented with a sigh. What will I do? Sit in the chambers. If somebody asks about May, say she's not feeling well. Shinohadori dubiously suggested. A healer will be called. Tell them right away that it won't be necessary. When will we be back? In the morning. And what should I do? Following the ninja's instructions, Mei and Shinonodori headed toward the outbuildings as dust settled over the palace. Drawing close, the two split up. Gently stepping over a flower bed with fading tulips, the kitsune took refuge behind a distant hedge as the yokai walked on. Everything had been planned for. If someone had noticed Mei a little earlier, she would have explained that she was looking for her attendant. While if someone would have noticed her here, she would have said she dropped a hairpin somewhere nearby and she was searching the bushes. But no one saw her. Left the music. She watched closely as Shinonodori approached the back door to the kitchens. Baskets with bones and barrels of food scraps and some kind of rubbish sat in the cart. All this had to be taken outside the palace walls and dumped into the city's draining system, open canals that ran through the poor neighborhoods outside the city proper and into the fields. Along with the odor of vegetables past their prime, faint voices reached Mei. Hello? You are Nanami, yes? What do you need? Tea for my lady, and honey, and also dinner. Mei waited. She has to get under this very cart. Why are you coming in the back door? It was closer. Why walk around? The driver waited atop his seat for a cart to be loaded, chewing on a dried eel. Oh, wait. Fiddling with a lock of hair, the yokai asked in a charming voice, Could you do something for me, please? Yes. Could you tell, that to the cook? I'll pick everything up later. Okay, I'll pass it along. Placing an unappetizing basket on the cart, the smiling servant disappeared through the doorway. Pretending to be somewhat oblivious, Shinonodori continued the show, now addressing the driver. Oh? What is this horrible smell? Leftovers. Scraps. Approach now? There's no indication. I don't know. Treading carefully so as not to step on any twigs or trip over a loose stone, the kitsune crept from her hiding place. The shadows. Kazu warned me to watch the shadows. Unsure she had fully understood the ninja's instructions, and fearing her shadow would be noticed by the driver, she dared not stand at her full height. Mei knelt, lay prone, then silently rode under the cart. We're like freaking Mission Impossible here. The driver, who was now above Mei, eagerly chatted with the beautiful servant. The shogun doesn't enjoy having refuse in his palace, so I have to take it out. Well, someone has to. Yes, everyone has their job to do. Highborn, not highborn, it must be taken out regardless. A hint of pride arose in the driver's voice. But don't think that's all I do. In the morning, you see, I'll return to the palace, this time with food, fresh fish, vegetables, and so on. Dirtying her clothes on the cart's grimy boards and wheels, Mei turned around. Between the axles, she found 4 short loops of rope that Kazu had to fix beforehand, 2 in the front and 2 in the back. He's so helpful. She slid her arm deep into one up to her shoulder. I live in a city, as does my assistant. We sleep a little and then it's straight to the shops, but not just any shop will do. Just talking away. The palace has its own trusted suppliers, and by the time we go around to all of them, that's how it is for us, working while our masters are resting. Pressing her back against the bottom of the cart, Mei put her other hand into another loop. Then she heard footsteps. I pass it on. They'll do it. Oh, thank you. Today was so tiring. Don't hesitate to ask. I'm always happy to help. I bet you are. The servant approached and bent down to pick up another barrel. Slow, slow. She carefully and smoothly lifted one leg, then the other. Once they were in the loops, she hung there, straightening her back and stomach. Good thing Chungon had me trained in these clothes. Completely unsuspecting, the servant hoisted the last barrel onto the cart and sat down behind the driver. Whew. So far, so good? Goodbye. It's time for us to go. And I must return. Bye. See you, Nanami. The driver smacked his lips loudly and twitched the reins. The horse pulled the cart toward the gate. And we off. We're off. So many quick choices. I just got back. Don't be making this tough for me. Okay, so far, everything is going according to plan. So pretty. Keep dreaming. The Shogun liked her mistress. You really think she won't end up married to some soldier? Well, anything could happen. You fool. He's like, you fool. You don't even have an image. You're just a shadow. I heard that a young widow inherited a village, and they were brothers. They were potters. The cart stopped. Oh no, something else is gonna happen? The kitsune tensed, clasping her palms together. She pressed her body closer to the boards. The loops dug into her arms. She tried to slow her breathing. Kazu claimed that the soldiers wouldn't expect the underside of the cart, but, of course, May had to remain silent. Some of the guards, meanwhile, lifted the lids of the barrels, checking if the workers were removing anything of value. Another one addressed the driver. When you come tomorrow, bring me mochi. From Hanada's? As usual? Yes, his are my favorite. May's arm began to tremble. The cobblestones seemed more distant and grayer before her eyes. A bead of sweat rolled down her forehead. I hope my legs don't cramp. A thought suddenly flashed in her head. Did Lady Sumiko train me for this? Don't let things get to you. Take care of yourself. Attend to your posture. I'm balancing between dirt and rubbish. All right, sir. They don't make them to your liking in the palace? There's something about Hanada's. I eat it, and it reminds me of my childhood. My grandma made them the same way. Okay, can y'all stop talking? Okay? Listen, I need to get out of here. The young woman who grew up among a geisha closed her eyes and gritted her teeth, reminding herself of the old healer's words. Endure and wait. Overcoming pain, anger, fatigue, fear, and pride. Stepping through oneself. This is necessary to achieve the goal. The further your target is, the more patient you need to be. Just a little more. Be patient. Come on, faster. Finally, the search was finished and the guard issued an order. Go. The cart, its wheels rattling along the stones, rolled out onto the street. Whew. At last. Settling basins and sewage channels were located away from the wealthy houses. The driver soon turned off into simpler quarters. May was supposed to disembark before reaching their destination. Okay. The dust raised by the horse bothered her eyes. The kitsune closed them and allowed herself to bend a little to relieve the stress on her body. It was still difficult, but a little easier. Okay, now we have to get off of this cart safely and without notice. Upon entering the first narrow street, the carriage stopped abruptly. A familiar voice sounded ahead. Hey, you. Okay, maybe this is my chance. Arai, pretending to be a drunken reveler, spoke loudly, his words slightly slurred. Take me to the tea house. The closest. The driver pulled on the reins and the horse snorted. The wheels lurched. Above her, May heard, "Watch where you're going. I nearly ran you over." I'll cut you. In the service of the Shogun himself. Give way, please. Oh, I'm in the service. Some of his legs appeared to the left, and an apple fell to the ground. A passerby bent to pick it up. Kazu's hand appeared in her field of view, his thin fingers pointing the opposite direction before grabbing the fruit. He's telling me which way to go. May freed herself from the loops, getting even dirtier as she rolled. To the right. Oh my gosh. He points the opposite direction, but I didn't know if we were going left or right. Now the driver and the servant, distracted as they were by the passing shinobi, noticed May. As soon as she and Kazu disappeared around the corner, Masamune staggered away, waving his hand. Then he slipped into the alley after them. Oh, okay, the music changed. Let's calm down. Hopefully no more time choices right now because my heart was bumping. What the heck? After passing several courtyards, they came to a dead end. The ninja placed the apple on the stone ledge of the house and handed the kitsune a hat and her knife. Araya passed her some clothes. Hurry, we must get back to the gate. Wind will be out soon. Struggling with the awkwardness of the situation as she changed, May glanced at the men who had turned away. What excuse did you use for leaving? To play Go? The Ronin added gloomily. For money. Won't they check? They'll find out that he was in a brothel. They play Go and shogi there every night. For the guards, they have a special twist. It's illegal, both the games and betting. In other words, another blow to my reputation. Given your plans, it shouldn't bother you. The Ronin was not offended by the irony, he just shook his head. I don't think that's an excuse. You can call me unprincipled then. Probably living together had brought Arai and Kazu somewhat closer. Their tones left no doubt that they were both joking. So we got Boys of Fate. Boys of Fate version 2. And Boys of Fate. We're gonna go wide sleeves or something more trimmed in. I kind of like them like the trimmed in. Where's Kirin? I left her at the brothel. I looked at the shinobi. Kazu assured me that nothing would happen to her. Nothing will happen to anything there. We could bet on it. I'm almost ready. Did you pick up your clothes on the way? We found them, yes. Don't be upset. A white hat. Hat with a scarf. Hat with laces. This one's cute. Okay, let's go. Here, take this too. The ninja handed her a flat leather case. Put it on. In addition to a mirror and almost familiar cosmetics, it contained a false mustache and a beard. Without wasting time on questions, May dutifully stuck them on her face. She hastily emphasized the shadows of her chin, trying to make her jawline more defined. Is this good enough? No. It's fine. Come on. Masamune looked at her and grinned. It suits you. May wiggled her lips. It tickles. They didn't have to wait long. The porters carrying Wednesday's palanquin appeared at the open gate. The shogun's servant was flanked by a pair of guards. It did not occur to the guards that someone might be closely watching them. It would have been improper for Wen to look around, not to mention uncomfortable. Nevertheless, Kazu followed them at a safe distance. May and Arai kept even further back. The palanquin slowly left the wealthy area. After 2 intersections and a fork, the porter stopped at an inconspicuous house. Wen got out of the cargo, briefly told the guards something, collected himself, and knocked on the door. A beautiful young woman opened the door and bowed. She let him in. Kazu walked by. The kitsune and Ronin followed across the street. They overheard a guard's bored sigh. Where are we gonna go? Of course we'll have to wait. I wish we knew for how long, at least. A little further away, the shinobi waited for Masamune and May. He's visiting a woman? Ronin narrowed his eyes, dubious. He made so much noise about the merchant's disappearance, but now he decides to rest? That's right, skeptic. Let's go around the house. To see if there's another way out? The ninja blinked his agreement. It's a little blink. As soon as they turned the corner, they saw the Shogun's servant. Obviously hiding from his escort, he had already left through the back door. The beauty was not to his liking. Rebellious Win. Despite their smiles, her companions prickled with focus and alertness. Wednesday stooped, skirting a rickety shed and disappearing down another street. Let's go. Uh-oh. We're playing like sneaky music. At first, May thought that Wednesday was heading toward the outskirts of the city, but this thought was closely followed by another. Is he not afraid of robbers? He's too well dressed for these parts. And at this hour? The servant turned toward a shop. Judging by the sign, furs were sold there. However, the doors were closed and the windows were dark. Wynn looked around, failing to notice that he was being tailed, and knocked. The door opened slightly, and he disappeared into the darkness of the interior. Kazu looked around, then beckoned May and Musume to follow him into the alley between the shop and the neighboring house. The ninja silently approached the wall. He listened, putting his ear to one window and then the other. He deftly inserted a knife between the panels and gently pressed the blade. Wiggling the blade, he then looked into the newly formed gap. Then he gave way to the Ronin, who held a mirror in his hand. May also moved closer, holding her breath. She overheard voices within. And left after our conversation. Did you see him approach the gates? No, I didn't see him off. Why would I? It wasn't his first time in the palace. I see. What then? I wonder who he's talking to. Let's take a peek. May gently leaned against the rye and looked through the window. Nothing, but he definitely didn't leave through the gate. When did this become known? Yesterday morning. The lack of news and new orders caused concern. Perhaps something went wrong and needs to be reported? Right. So, what? He's gone? He didn't return? Wynn's companion did not answer immediately. Then he clarified. Nothing unusual happened in the palace? No. Are you sure? Of course, sir. So, there was only information about Egashira's arrival. No other news. Let's say... The Ronin tried to see the stranger in the mirror, however, it was difficult through such a narrow gap. The Shogun continues to watch over the Emperor's palace. Yes, as before. How was the meeting with the daimyo? No conflicts? I see. Sir, what if there is news? How do I get in touch? I'll let you know soon. Wynn took his leave of the place in his peculiar company. Kazuo glanced at the departing servant, then at the store. Let's split up. It was not hard to understand that the ninja wanted to see if Wednesday would go somewhere else, while also trying to learn more about this stranger. The Ronin was quick to speak. I'm not at all certain, but I think that's an Oni. Then he shouldn't run into Kasune. If he sees regular people, it's less of an issue. So you want me to tell Wednesday? If so, it's safer for them to do this alone. May bowed quickly. Cousin, I'm sorry to interrupt, but should I tell Wynn? He should be easier to follow. The Shogun's servant disappeared around the corner. Time was running out. The ninja's voice was a low rustle. Hurry. Afterward, find the last fortune. We'll meet there. You must be there before dawn. Don't be late. Kazu, the brothel? It isn't a good area. I can handle it. His last words reached May after she turned to leave. Don't take risks. May hurried away. Okay. Don't be risky. Wynn's dark silhouette appeared before her. Stay back, keep a medium distance, stay close. We don't want to be too close, too far back. Because if we're too far back, we'll lose him. If you make a certain, turn and then turn. But if we get too close, he'll hear us. I mean, he seems kind of like oblivious, but he might be up to something. He might, have some perception. The kitsune kept her distance. She did not let Win go so far as to lose sight of him, but she did not approach, avoiding his notice. Okay. Whew. The servant turned several times and passed through narrow alleys. May followed, persuading herself. You're calm. No one is watching you. It's the tree's shadow or someone who works late. Nobody cares about you. Eventually, Wednesday made it to the house where he had left the pelican and his guards. Okay, so he didn't make any other stops. Using the back door again, he entered the house. As May suspected, he soon went out to the waiting men, accompanied by a laughing woman. Climbing into the cargo, he said to the porters, "To the palace." Okay, so he's done for the night, so now we need to make it to our place. To the last fortune. May moved down the street looking for a passerby to ask for directions to the last fortune. The first city dweller she encountered explained how to find the brothel. He advised her to stay away from the place. Contrary to May's expectations, the establishment was not in a slum. Although the houses on the approaching streets were poor, there were no beggars. A lowland, workshops, a tannery, but the central ward isn't that far. Trying to keep to the shadows and not attract attention, the kitsune appeared down the dark street. Someone was lying beneath a fence. Drunk or not? Further beneath an awning, 3 men lurked. 2 have clubs on their belts, and they aren't guards. Against the background of the starry sky, a swift silhouette flashed. A man ran across the roof, deftly jumped to the next, and vanished. Where is this fortune? Who's darting across the rooftop? Is that Kazu? She wrinkled her lips and gently scratched her chin. If I were a man, I would definitely shave. Ahead, she saw the light of lanterns and heard drunken voices. May figured out which way the Shogun's palace was. I see. We're meeting there because this den is the only way back. She heard rustling behind her. May turned abruptly. A shadow separated from the bushes growing under the wall of the nearest house. Well, well. The man stepped forward. Who do we have here? From the other side, her vision caught motion. Why, I think this is the day's earnings. She tried to give her voice a hoarse, masculine quality. It was not very effective. I have no money. We'll see that for ourselves, kid. No need to worry. She drew back. Path of passion. Get out of here. What? Is your head only for drinking sake? Think. Would an ordinary person walk here at night? The bandit was not scared. He mockingly interrupted her. What are you squealing about? Let me pass. She glanced around. Are Masamune and Kazu already here? Or not? Magic will cause rumors later. Shut up. No money? Doesn't matter. Take off your clothes. He reached for May, grabbing her sleeve. Wake up. Forcefully twisting on one leg, she wrenched away. There was a sound of fabric tearing, but the seams of her clothes remained intact. Old memories and fears suddenly made themselves known, reborn in anger. She assumed a comfortable position, decisively preparing to fight. You touch me again, you'll regret it. The robber tried to grab her again. She swayed, gracefully dodging. Get back here. She ducked into the other's hand. Damn you. She started spinning, dancing between them, confusing them with graceful twists and unpredictable changes of direction. Wait. Cursing, the bandit drew a knife. Enough playing around. The blade whistled. The kitsune's shoulder bumped against the wall. She was alone and pressed into a corner. Her hand dipped into her sleeve and May attacked, screaming as she did. No! She plunged the knife Kazu had given her deep into her enemy's thigh. And so that he would remember this encounter for a long time to come, she twisted the blade. Oh! Shh! You bastard! Whatever. I'll chop you to bits. still flashing his hand too. And then, May staggered back, preparing for him to lunge forward. What the bandit planned to do next remained unknown. A rough shout rang out nearby. "Hey! That's enough!" All three looked over at the large man. His size and crooked nose made him impossible to ignore. "Get lost!" "What's the matter?" The second moaned weakly, bending over and clutching his profusely bleeding wound. His pale face twisted in pain. "Weren't you told not to make noise near this establishment?" The likely guard repeated, "Get lost." Then he looked at May and added, "All three of you." He cut Tsuyoshi. "I don't care. You attacked first, didn't you?" The robber frowned in displeasure, although he lowered his weapon. "I have a meeting at the Last Fortune." "Really?" "I'm not lying. They're waiting. They left a horse in your stable. Brown, with a spot. Gray, with a black mane." "Okay, we'll come in then. We'll get you back for this. You come around again, I'll mess you up." Bastard. He stood in the way. May stepped away from the wall. Clean and put away the knife. Push him. This was definitely passion. She sharply shoved the bandit's shoulder. Unable to stand on one leg, he reflexively leaned on his wounded one and howled, as he fell into a small puddle of sewage. Deserved. The kitsune retreated in disgust and headed toward the doors of the brothel. Right at the entrance, staggering, a drunkard was relieving himself on the wall. It was difficult for him to keep his balance, so not only was the wall was wet, but also his shoes. The guard accompanying May did not pay any attention to him. After passing under a long, darkened signboard, May found herself in a dimly lit hall. There were tables everywhere. People of different classes were sitting around. Some thoughtfully and slowly moved white and black pieces on lined boards. Others passionately shouted words that May did not understand. One person, with eyes half-lidded, sleepily watched them. A couple of men were swearing. They got up, grabbing each other by the collars, and almost bumped into her. The guard caught them by the necks and effortlessly separated them. Both immediately calmed down. I bet they did. May looked around. Kazuya and Masamune were nowhere to be found. She sat down along the nearest wall and waited. Sweet, intoxicating smoke filled the hall. From different sides, she periodically heard exclamations, joyous or devastated. Losing money. From the side, barely coherent, someone demanded another pour. Brightly made-up women clung to some of the visitors without embarrassment. They behaved vulgarly and laughed loudly, inciting men to be bolder and make bigger bets. May watched as one of the players took off a ring with a sparkling stone and threw it on the table. Then he grabbed his hair and groaned. The ring migrated to his opponent, who did not hide his malevolent delight. May watched with apprehensive interest. She had heard little about such establishments. She certainly had not learned how the patrons of these places enjoyed themselves during her time at the Okiya. From time to time, someone left the hall. When, on the contrary, someone entered, she hopefully looked at the doors. "So you're just going to sit there, too cowardly to try your luck?" She looked up at the brothel's muscle. May was afraid that she would be asked to go outside if she did not respond, so she answered, "I just need to wait for my acquaintances." It passed the time. He clearly said no, back off. The guard looked over at the Ronin and ninja and yawned. "I was just making conversation." Under Arai's unfriendly gaze, the big man walked away. "All good?" "Yes." "Nobody bothered you?" No." "Good." Just in case, she warned them about the robbers who might be waiting for her somewhere outside. The Ronin turned to the ninja. "I told you this was a nasty place." Kazu grinned unpleasantly and muttered, "Should we leave her at home to do embroidery then? She handled herself well." "I'll get Kieran. Let's get out of here." Araya let the horse out of the stable, and they headed away from the brothel. A man was thrown out into the streets behind them. Having fallen into the dust, he did not rise immediately. "Get out. If I see you here again, I'll break your fingers." When the last fortune was well behind them, May asked, Was that an Oni? Yes. Apparently, he's pretending to be a fur trader. And the one in his palace was supposedly a merchant. We found out the name and address. He won't go anywhere. Oh? That's enough to ensure he's watched. We'll pass on the news now. What about Win? He returned to the woman. No one noticed. Then he went to the palace with his guards. I didn't follow further. But Kazu, wait. We aren't alone in the city. News? To whom? Our insurance. Why didn't you tell me before? It was unnecessary. What you don't know, you can't tell during an interrogation. If anything, would have been contacted. He casually touched May's fingers. His piercing eyes caught hers for a moment. She understood. He couldn't. He needed at least some reason. It's not his secret alone. Oh. I adore him, like, just trying to, like, just silently, like, reassure her. Like, I wasn't just keeping secrets from you. You know, it was a reason for it. Kitsune smiled to show him that everything was fine. They're adorable. They walked quickly toward the palace, but on another street, Kazu suddenly turned down an alley, then onto another. Stopping, he put his hand under the roof of an unremarkable house. May immediately remembered their jailbreak and the stash of clothes. The shinobi pulled out half a dozen small pouches. One was empty, the others contained rice grains dyed in different colors. Though interesting, the Ronin and Kitsune were in no rush to ask questions. Kazu chose several. There's some sort of coded message. Having poured them into an empty bag, he hid everything back under the eave. You can leave a message to the clan here. Indicate the place where you'll be waiting. They'll get it quickly. There was no point in specifying when this would be necessary. If something happens to him. Oh. Well, you know what I think about that? Her in this beard is hilarious. She didn't want to think about such things. Thank you. We don't. Look, curious one. The grains are a cipher to pass on information. Each clan has its own system. 5 colors, many combinations. Leave them out and the birds won't eat them. But hiding them is safer. He nodded. Yes. It's time. May tried to wrap her head around what she had learned so far. The shogun is watching the emperor's palace. His warriors are collecting tribute and robbing the people, spreading discontent with the rule of the Iris. His servant is discussing the daimyo with an oni. The only daimyo the shogun could have met recently is the one in the capital city. The others were in their provinces and did not come. Also, I don't know if it matters. The local daimyo's dinner was canceled the other day. All the guests went to see Master Sawada. They could have conspired. She squinted. The shogun asked or ordered him to win over the nobility further, the reception at the palace being personally greeted. Are they working together? Does the daimyo also know about the gatekeeper and the fox hunt? Shinobi just shook his head. Masamune, how loyal is the army to the emperor? You say yourself, the Ryoge is a harbinger of great wars, blood. The Ronin stared at May. Is the shogun preparing an uprising? May's question remained unanswered again. Kazu said, the gatekeeper isn't in the palace. He's transmitting orders through Wen. He's at the gates. Does the shogun know him personally? Perhaps. Wait, the gate, whatever it is, must be well guarded. The guards need food. That is, there are carts. And if May is right, then the shogun is concentrating troops in a certain area. Without attracting attention, there are hundreds of soldiers in all. Among their supplies, the carts are insignificant, lost. If only we could take a look at the maps. If you knew where the troops are, could you determine roughly where the gate is? There's a chance. Everything is still leading to the palace for now. The return went according to plan. When they went to the shop where the cart was being loaded, the sky in the east was brightening. The streets were still dark enough for May to crawl underneath unnoticed and take hold of the rope loops. Masamune and Kazu arrived at the palace gate at the same time as the cart. The disguised Ronin was on horseback, and without a hat, the driver and assistant would never have recognized him. Sharing colorful details of his fictional victory in Go, Arai engaged the soldiers in conversation. Having glanced at the sacks of vegetables, they let the cart in. And soon, the kitsune again found herself at the palace kitchen, where Shino Adora met her with fresh clothes. Whew, we made it back in. By breakfast, May had already tidied herself up. Let's see. Was everything quiet? Did no one ask about me? Nobody. Nothing to worry about. Shinorodori hugged her for a moment. She's so cute. Being among people is very scary and difficult. You are young and strong. I want you to succeed and for the foxes to be all right. May smiled, grateful for her support. How did it go? It was productive. She told her about the events of the last night. Something suddenly occurred to her. Yasuhara Sawada's office must have those same maps. May? We need to see Masamune and Kazu. I think I had an idea for how to get closer to the Shogun's quarters. And we finish. Alright, yeah. We came back in and there was a lot of time choices. It made it exciting. I'm trying to remember all the story bits, but it's like slowly coming together. Her little summary she gave there helped a lot. But yeah, I need to go and get something because my throat hurts now. A lot of talking. But yeah, it's always really good to get back into this one. It's just such a nice story, I think. I don't know. I like it a lot. But anyway, thank you guys so much for watching. If you enjoyed this episode, go ahead and show a like button, some love, subscribe, see more content like this, and I will see you next time. Bye!